I'm David Owen. I'm a staff writer for The New Yorker, and I'm the author of a book called Green Metropolis, which makes the case that dense cities are the greenest places, and the places where people and their destinations are close together are the most energy efficient, least carbon intensive human organization. Cities are scalable, and suburban sprawl is not, and that as the Earth approaches 7 and 8 and 9 billion people, the only way to sustain a population like that, if it's indeed possible to do it, is by moving people and their destinations closer together, by pulling back on the mobility that Americans have come to think of as just part of life.
Mm-hmm. Is the car the major problem?
The car is the critical device, the critical problem. It's not the only problem. For example, the New York City subway system, the only really successful subway system in the United States, half of all the subway stops in America, it consumes as much electricity every year as the city of Buffalo. So it's not, we tend to think of transit as the zero energy proposition. It's not. It's another energy intensive way of getting around. Even in places where we build transit, the emphasis has to be on less, on shorter rides, on more walking, the way we have in New York City. I think congestion is underappreciated as a generator of environmental benefits. People continually refer to traffic congestion as an environmental problem. Traffic congestion is a driving problem, it's not an environmental problem. And to the extent that it makes people unwilling to drive, it has environmental value. So, to me, the best streets in New York City are the ones where the traffic is moving at 1 mile an hour, and bicyclists can weave in and out, pedestrians can jaywalk without fearing for their safety, and the rate of progress is discouraging enough that people aren't tempted to get behind a wheel. Even when we live in ways that we think are shrunk, we depend very heavily on fossil fuels. An estimate I've heard most recently is that the Gulf oil spill amounts to 50,000 barrels of oil a day pumping into the Gulf. Well, the United States consumes 50,000 barrels of oil every 9 minutes. The world consumes that much every 2 minutes and 15 seconds. It's just it's a drop in what we do. The principal environmental damage we do with oil has nothing to do with the Gulf spill and dwarfs it by orders of magnitude. Globally, the largest the fastest growing single energy use is the internet. The energy used by the internet now exceeds that of air travel, and maybe by a factor of 2. The major roadblocks are just we like mobility, we like affluence, we like having stuff, we like having little electronic gadgets, and then getting tired of them and throwing them away and getting the next one. We like being able to fly wherever we want to. We like all the things about our life, and the rest of the world likes them too and wants them. Understandably, is there a lever big enough to move people? If there is, it's economic. In 2008, we saw something globally that even the most optimistic environmentalists hadn't anticipated, which was an actual significant drop in energy use and carbon output worldwide, and it was the result of first of the rapid, huge rise in the price of oil, and then of the implosion of the global economy. And both those things push down energy use. People who are out of work or are afraid that they're going to be out of work, they turn down the heat, they stop heating their swimming pool, they don't drive as much. The place where they used to work shuts down, we stop, our impact on the world shrinks, and that's what happened in 2008. What we really need is recession without pain. How do we shrink ourselves without without throwing everybody out of work? And it's even in our affluent country, it's a difficult problem. In other places, it's a huge problem.